You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, wherever you're listening to this. It's Go Time Dolphins and football is back. We've had one preseason game, but no one really cared because we were playing against some team from Cleveland. But our Miami Dolphins, they are in action this weekend. So, Charlie, how are you?
It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. I got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast. Kadeem, bro, there's a lot to talk about. Zach Thomas inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Quite a speech. I felt like he was suiting up again. Like, some people can't turn it off. I see you got the orange Zach Thomas jersey. Yeah, man. Those came and went. The orange, orange on orange. Did we go orange on orange? I don't think we did. We never went orange on orange. But the orange jerseys that Kadeem is rocking right now. But Zach Thomas had the speech at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And some people can't turn it off, bro. Like, I wonder if that's how he talks at the dinner table. You know what I'm saying? like, bro, the man is a natural born leader, bro. So I felt like he was still suiting up. I felt like he was talking to the locker room, and it's nice to have another Miami Dolphin in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Shout out to friend of the podcast, OJ McDuffie, for coming on and just sharing what he got from his relationship with Zach Thomas in the locker room. We really appreciate them boys.
Yeah, definitely shout out to OJ McDuffie. The episode is still available on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Music, on Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcast from. Go back and check it out. Leave a like on this episode, share this episode, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, leave a 5-star review, shout us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the socials. Well, not so much Twitter no more because it's called X. I don't like that name. For me, it's always Twitter. But yeah, Zach Thomas, 54, rightfully inducted into Hall of Fame, long overdue. When you see Zach talking like that, do you ever think he should have gone into coaching, or do you think he's the kind of person who, do you know what, just he's living his life, away from, Hard Rock Stadium or any football stadium, I guess?
I don't know if we talked to William Hayes on this pod. We had William Hayes on this podcast a couple times. Friend of the podcast, former Miami Dolphin, former Tennessee Titan, former St. Louis Ram, and former Los Angeles Ram. And I've asked him before about coaching, and I don't remember if he was on the show or not when we asked, but I asked him about coaching, and he was like, "Nah, like it's just a different it's a different animal." When Zach Thomas, and me saying, some people can't turn it off, you can tell that some people just have to have football. You know what I'm saying? They just, in a weird way, football is life. And I wonder if they can turn it off, like, for family, you know what I'm saying? Or if they can't, and what it's like if they can't. So I don't know if Zach should have been a coach or not, but I know he should be in football some type of way. That's just too much knowledge to not pass down to the people coming up after him, whether it's a college or high school. Man, just watching Zach, when I was watching the ceremony, I'm like, man, I remember this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember this. I remember seeing him go sideline to sideline, north and south, getting picks, and that defense that shut everybody down, and the offense wasn't good enough. And I remember him in the locker room saying something like, "Can we just get 17 points?" I think he said something like that, or he might have said 10. Can we just get 10 points? Because the defense was scoring too. So I mean, yeah, bro. Like you won't see nothing like that in today's Dolphins. No one's gonna come out and say something like that crazy from our defense saying, "Yo, can we just get such and such?" So that's what's up, man. I miss that team.
I do feel like there were times last season when Tua got injured and the defense were keeping us in games. It was like, yo, offense, can we get 7 points? Can we get a touchdown? Can we get something? The game is still close, I guess. But no, it's been a very interesting 72 hours for Dolphins fans, for Dolphins ex-players. Shout out to the guy who thought it was wise to call OJ McDuffie a loser on social media and just tried to say that because he never won a ring with a Dolphin that makes him a loser and he supports a losing team. It's like
he said that
he was like, yeah, you was a loser on the field, you're a loser off the field. I want my team to be great, so I want greatness. You like it was again, and people were just like, OJ McDuffie's like a top 5 Dolphins receiver of all time. The guy retired injured because he gave his all on the field. You have no right to call this guy a loser. Like, just yeah,
bro. Trolls go too far, bro. They go too far. Like, it's one thing to have an opinion. It's one thing to be a fan, and yeah, okay, you're a fan. You're entitled to whatever opinion you have. But we've heard of we actually know some trolls personally that went too far, and it's like, would you say that to this person's face? You know what I'm saying? So if you won't say it to someone's face, don't say it on the internet. Period. Like, simple.
it's like what you say. If the username isn't their real name and their photo isn't their photo, it's not worth arguing with them because you have no idea who's behind that screen. So, no, it was an interesting Monday morning. But like I said, we are fully edging closer to the preseason. But there were some worrying moments, I guess, over the past few days. Obviously, outside of my injury, which is a hammer blow to the Miami Dolphins content creator team, just I'm still powering through. Obviously, we lost Jalen Ramsey for I don't even know how long because he's off crutches. He's like people are just like, yo, him off crutches this early means we could get him back, sooner than December. People are saying that after the bye week. Then yeah, shout out to Lane. What's up, my guys? I'm stoked. I'm off work early and able to catch the live. We appreciate you, Lane. Thanks for that. Hope work went well. Enjoy the rest of your evening in our company, I guess. But yeah, Jalen Ramsey went down injured. And then we had a few other guys kind of either in street clothes or kind of get knocked a bit. I believe Devon A-Chain was one of them. Was Jeff Wilson? Did he miss a training? It's what do you make of some of these not serious injuries, but kind of guys kind of going down in or getting knocked up in practice, I guess. What do you make of that?
'Tis the season. After week 1, no one's going to be 100% healthy ever until the season's over. So, excuse me. This is just when it happens. This is expected. You just hope that it's at a minimum. You hope that we can sustain health for the majority of the season, and that's what the depth is for. That's why you build a team that's not too top heavy, that can get it done when your big boys go down. And we're about to find out. We know last year we got hit a lot. There was a lot of going on last year, and we still came 4th and 1 away from knocking off the Super Bowl favorite Buffalo, or the preseason favorite Buffalo Bills. And you imagine we'll be in a better place this year. So it was a lot of injuries last year, And if you could just go into if you had the same situation from last year to this year with less injuries, you like your chances. So we just got to get to the dance, bro.
Yeah. Shout out to Moya TV. He says, "Sup, fellas." Moya, as always, what's up? Hope you are
What's
well.
happening?
One person I didn't mention in my little injury report. I can't wait to injury report again ahead of the season. My little, dude, season's gonna be fun. There was it might be either Saturday or Sunday practice where 20K Cam went down. And people were like, "Don't do this. Like,
Yeah.
don't let it be 20K Cam. He's back. He's okay. But again, he's making plays. He's making highlight plays in practice and training camp. Apparently, some of the reports say that the Dolphins aren't allowing tackling to the ground. But Cam Smith ain't seen none of that. He's making diving plays. Like, he's looking like a potential defensive rookie of the year candidate. And again with Jalen Ramsey not around, but Kader Kohu still stepping up. 20K Cam Smith still got Trill Williams returning. Friend of the podcast Brandon Jones returning. Nick Needer come back from injury. The Dolphins look quite healthy in the secondary. But what was your emotions when 20K Cam reports were like he's been hurt?
Well, everybody's gonna get nicked up a little bit, so I don't want to overreact. And the hope is, you know what I'm saying, like, okay, when we get something more definitive on some of these injuries, that's when we can, I guess, I don't want to say panic or worry, but we know what time it is. So I didn't think anything of it. Actually, I was like, well, you're gonna get a lot of this. And I'm pretty sure if you look at the injury report right now, if there was one, it'd be a lot of people with nicks, bumps and nicks on it. So I wasn't big tripping. He came back now and we're solid. So since we are solid, I think 20K Cam should start this season as a rookie. We didn't start friend of the podcast, Javon Holland, as a rookie. McCourty went down and then Holland started, and look at the season he had as a rookie. So 20K Cam starting his rookie season, it will be entertaining. I think he gets it done. I think we got depth. You know what I'm saying? Like we had like 6 DBs go down last year. I think we're gonna be fine now, bro. Like I know a lot of people, we're gonna be good. So man, I'm ready. I'm ready for this year. I'm ready for the season. And I'm going to the game this weekend. So I get to see these boys in person. I can't wait to see A-Chain. Can't wait to see Brooks. Can't wait to see what we look like in the aqua and orange on the field, bro. Did you think anything like crazy when Cam went down?
It was my whole thing was just, again, let it be something minor. The last thing you want to see, and not just for the Dolphins, but for any team, any players getting serious injuries. There's people's livelihood. It's not like other sports. I'm from the UK. If a player gets a somewhat serious injury in, say, August or like July in training, they might come back for the end of the season, which is like next May. We don't have that kind of luxury in the NFL. A 4-month injury basically rules you out for the majority of the season, so it's never nice. But before I talk about, we'll have a Falcons preview episode later on this week, so make sure you are subscribed to that. Again, leave a like on the video, a comment. Let us know your thoughts on 20K Cam. Anything, just always good to interact with our viewers, our listeners, our fans, our friends. When Jalen Ramsey went down, the Dolphins picked up Eli Apple. And a few hours ago, the Dolphins waived quarterback James Blackman and picked up cornerback Parry Nickerson. According to the Dolphins press release, Nickerson has played in 25 career games with 3 starts, totaling 23 tackles, 19 solos, 1 pass defense, and 5 special team stops. He's appeared in games with the New York Jets in 2018, Jacksonville Jaguars in 2019, Green Bay Packers in 2020, and Minnesota in 2021. a 6th-round pick in the 2018 draft from Tulane. Any thoughts on that?
Nah, Blackman we understood he was a camp arm, and bringing in another DB is just a camp DB. You don't want too many people taking too many reps and then more people getting injured. So you want enough people getting enough reps, giving people enough breaks, and that's why bro, I could have went out there. You know what I'm saying? Just what I'm saying. So, but at the same time, you want to give someone a legit look. Like, all right, well, maybe something catches our eye. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you bring in somebody, but it's not with you don't expect someone like that to make the team. But at the same time, bro, I wanted to ask you about this Joe Shad tweet. According to Joe Shad, Tua told Peter King, "We have so much fun. If you would have asked me this question 2 years ago, you probably would have never seen our guys get excited on the sideline because it felt more like a job." And on the tweet, you see like a picture of Brian Flores. So do you think the success that we're having as a team right now is because of the coach, or do you think it's because everybody's more loose and it's like they're having fun with it and it's like, yo, we could have fun playing football and let's go do our thing?
That's a really good question. And I think, listen, Brian Flores isn't the most popular former Miami Dolphins head coach, from Miami Dolphins fans. There's a lot of bad blood between a certain section of the Miami Dolphins fan base and, their thoughts towards Brian Flores. But I do think he genuinely instilled a winning culture that a lot of the players needed. And I definitely think there were times last year where I believe we said on this podcast that TNT wall would have made a massive difference in some games. Like the amount of dumb pre-snap penalties we were making. So I genuinely think there's a fine balance. I think Brian Flores was probably too far to one side where it was, again, too much like a job, walking straight far, obviously not this popular, buzz cut hairstyles, probably like being in the army. And there's probably times where it was too far the other side where it was all too much party and play under Mike McDaniel. So like when I think I can't remember what game it was, if you're in the comments and let me know, where Mike McDaniel was angry and he said to like the defense coaches, get it fixed, like we're swearing and stuff like that. Some people were like, can't really take Mike McDaniel seriously because of how loose and jovial he is. So I think I definitely think there's an element of the Dolphins playing so well right now because they are loose, they are relaxed, they can play with that freedom. There's a clip of Tua in the huddle with the offense, kind of, essentially breaking it down and talking to them after like a sloppy practice. And I don't think Tua would have made that same, or Tua would have been given the freedom to do that, under Brian Flores. So it's great seeing guys step up, take up the mantle of having that bit more freedom. But I do think that too much freedom can be a bad thing. And hopefully we can find that right balance where, players have freedom, but they also know, listen, there are some rules around here and, we've got to clean things up, I guess.
Not gonna lie. Coach McDaniel needed the TMT wall for himself, if I'm being honest. Like, bro, get the plays in faster. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't want to go back. We don't want to live in the past. We don't want to live in the past. But bro, I got I think Tua saying what he said. I think it's legit. I think there's some truth there. I think everyone understands when you ever been at a job where you're just doing your job, everything's good, and then the supervisor come or your boss come and you're like, dang, you know what I'm saying? And then you mess up something like, dang, bro, I would have been good if you didn't come. You know what I'm saying? Like I was doing fine before you got here. So yeah, you want a relaxed environment, and then allow yourself to just have freedom to be chill and laid back. I'm gonna mention a couple players that are still available, still free agents. Let me know if just anyone stands out, or if you're interested in any of the names on this list, or if there's any surprising names that, you know what, I thought closer to the season these guys would be signed by now. But here goes the list. Shout out to everybody in the comments. Dalvin Cook, Kareem Hunt, Jadavion Clowney, Isaiah Rogers. I think Yannick Ngakoue just got signed.
He's a saint.
Ezekiel Elliott, Leonard Fournette, Teddy Bridgewater, Kenny Galladay, Melvin Ingram, Cal Van Noy, Jarvis Landry, Logan Ryan, Julio Jones, Robert Quinn, Carson Wentz, Anthony Barr, Ronald Darby, and Justin Houston just got signed to Carolina, I think.
Yeah.
Bro, that's a pretty healthy list, bro.
There's a lot of guys who genuinely will improve, could walk into some, training camps and win the starting job instantly. Like they walk in, instantly named starter. And I think part of the reason some of those guys haven't been picked up so far is that teams kind of want to see what they have from their rookies. It's like they know what they're going to get from an Ezekiel Elliott. They know what they're going to get from a Ronald Darby. They need to see what they have in their rookies through training camp, and it might be and through some of the preseason games. And they might be like, well, do you know what? Our running back room it needs a bit more. We can go get a Dalvin Cook, go get an Ezekiel Elliott, go get a Leonard Fournette. I think some guys are probably asking for a bit too much money, and they're kind of like, listen, you kind of aren't in a position right now to be demanding top dollar when either your play over the past few years hasn't been good enough, or they don't have the cap base to get you on that deal. But if you kind of lower your demands, listen, once live bullets start flying and games are coming in thick and fast, and teams are not really tanking for that number one overall pick, you might see a running back get picked up, and then again the dreaded injury bucket someone. That's when an Ezekiel Elliott for whatever million he wants to get looks really, really good. I know that there's still a lot of Dolphins fans who are like, listen, go and get Dalvin Cook. And especially with some of the running backs kind of getting nicked up, it's like, well, these running backs aren't exactly the most durable. So why are you surprised that they're hurting, in July or August when, again, Dalvin Cook's there? Hey, go and trade for Jonathan Taylor, all that kind of stuff. But one person you didn't mention, and he was touted as a potential, not a potential target, but some people wanted to bring him in. Shout out Chris Ciccone, was Ndamukong Suh. So the Dolphins on Monday brought in Deshaun Hand. And it seemed over the weekend they kind of made it clear that they wanted a bit more veteran help at defensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Suh is someone who had been in the building before, obviously on a different regime. Recently won a Super Bowl ring with the
Rams?
With the Rams he won it with.
Was it Tampa?
Either Tampa or Rams.
I don't know. That's a good one.
No, what? Let us know in the comments Tampa or LA. We will do that in bonus time. Stick with us in bonus time.
Who did Ndamukong Suh win his last Super Bowl with? It might be his only Super Bowl, but who did he win that Super Bowl with? Was it Tampa or was it the Rams?
Who won the Super Bowl first? Was it Tampa? So was the Tampa?
Tampa did win first.
So it might have been the Rams, because when he joined the Eagles, wouldn't he have gone back to back? How do you won?
Yeah, I guess it was Tampa, and maybe he didn't even play for the Rams. Honestly, like because this is something that it felt like he went to the Rams. I don't know. I guess he didn't. I don't know.
Why would he have gone to the Rams if they've got Aaron Donald? Like I don't think that's.
But that's my point. So who did he play for before the Eagles? You saying Tampa? He played for Tampa?
I think it's Tampa. But yeah, would you have? So yeah, the Dolphins picked up Hand. Would you have gone for Suh? And are you surprised he's still available? Or was he another one who, listen, he knows how to train. He will know the system when he comes in, given his veteran talent and stuff. You pick him up week one, and you kind of go from there.
I like Ndamukong Suh. I liked him on the Dolphins. I think we didn't put the right weapons around him. The same way you need to put weapons around offensive players and help them. Like if you just can't have Jalen Waddle. We seen what happened when you only had Jalen Waddle. You got help with Jalen Waddle now. You had people around Jalen Waddle, and now Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill are special. Same thing for your quarterback. We understand what it means to have weapons for your quarterback. But on the defense, it's the same thing. We didn't put enough pieces around Ndamukong Suh. And here's why I don't know that. For me personally, yeah, I like Ndamukong Suh. I would love to see him on this team. But here's why I don't think that's a thing. The Dolphins know what they have in certain people and what they don't have if they didn't bring somebody in. They might know what they get out of Ndamukong Suh, but they also know what else comes with Ndamukong Suh. Not saying that there's anything bad that comes with him, but the Dolphins know what comes with them. So maybe they don't want whatever comes with Ndamukong Suh. They're like, yo, we already been down that road before. We already know what we get with him. And maybe they just, yeah, it's okay bro, you have a relationship. All breakups don't have to be bad breakups. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to yell at each other on the way out the door. It's okay to be like, you know what? We're just not compatible. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. So maybe that's a thing, because there's another person on this list that I actually like for the Dolphins on this team, which is Kyle Van Noy. But we know what happened there. So Kyle Van Noy was basically added by Brian Flores and then cut by Brian Flores in the same. Was it the same season or was one season later? It was season later.
He played one season.
Yeah, it was one season later. It was one season. So I love the idea of Kyle Van Noy on this Dolphins team. That is legit, but I don't think there's a relationship anymore. That's a bad breakup, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So we don't. I can't imagine that Kyle Van Noy is okay with the front office when the front office pulled the trigger. Although Brian Flores probably told the front office to pull the trigger, right? So same way, yeah. So we had Kyle Van Noy. Jarvis Landry was on this list. I don't want Jarvis Landry on this team. You know what I'm saying? Like, you telling me we can't get the same production out of Braxton Berrios or Chosen Anderson or Robbie Chosen? Can't keep up with his names right now. You know what I'm saying? I think he changed it again. I think it's Robbie Chosen now. Could be Chosen Anderson. You know what it is?
I think it's Robbie
Chosen.
I think it's Chosen Anderson.
I think it's Robbie Chosen. One of us got to be right.
Again, find out in bonus time who's right.
So, yeah, man. So I don't think we need Jarvis Landry. I would like to have Kyle Van Noy. He'll be perfect right now. And then someone else who's on the same list, Melvin Ingram. I actually think there's a relationship there with Melvin Ingram still. I just think they chose to go a different direction. They're waiting to see who's available and what we're gonna do with the cap dollars. And if someone gets hurt, okay, we go back to Melvin Ingram. So there are people on this list that it's funny to see Jadeveon Clowney on this list. As many times as the Dolphins have flirted with Jadeveon Clowney and Clowney turning us down, it's just funny. So I think shout out to Rob. He said chosen. So yeah, man. I don't think we go back to any of these players. The only player that I see the Dolphins entertaining from this list is Melvin Ingram. That was a former Miami Dolphin. So as we speak, this is shout out. You know, sometimes we used to do a recorded episode and then we'll put it out. Since we're live, this is breaking right now. Teddy Two Gloves is signing with the Detroit Lions. So shout out to Teddy Two Gloves. We actually almost had him on the podcast, man. We'll still like to have Teddy on the podcast. Maybe we give it some time, you know, it's still fresh. You know what I'm saying? So we'll love to have Teddy Two Gloves, maybe in a year or so. We get him on the podcast, chop it up, and have him sign one of the gloves, hopefully, or both of them, since there's two of them. But go ahead, Kadir.
Shout out to IMAX. He says, evening, fellas, and peace up to the chat. Rob says it's Robbie Chosen.
That makes me right, Kadir.
Yeah, cool.
That makes again, by the way.
A broken clock can be twice. Is right for twice a day. How did I mess that up?
See, because you're not right, bro. Because you can't get right. You can't get right.
Shout out to Kevin Clements. He says no to Sue. He's done money from us once before. In his other comments, I haven't asked a question yet, so I'll ask it to you now. I'll give Kevin's answer first, and then I'll ask the question.
Hold on.
Kevin says,
Teddy Two Gloves to to Detroit is actually a really good signing, in my opinion. I think Teddy does have something left, and to be like, a game manager if Goff went down. But I really rock with Teddy. So good luck to you, bro.
Yeah, definitely. Again, it's one of those what could have been if he didn't get a phantom concussion against the paper planes when it's like, dude, no one knows what happened. But
Yeah.
yeah. So Kevin says, I say just 2 series, first one, second half, and the third preseason game. And that's to the kind of episode question. Should the Miami Dolphins play quarterback Tua Tagovailoa or any of the starters in preseason? And I say that because I saw on social media someone say that the Dolphins aren't going to play Tua because of his injury history. And my first thought was, had that been confirmed? Like, I don't know if that's a thing, or is that person trying to, I guess, say Tua is injury prone and that they're going to wrap him in cotton wool and not play him in the preseason. So I know you're going to the Falcons game, Charlie. And I know we've had a kind of a preseason conversation before, but do you think we see, I guess, any starters against the Falcons or beyond that?
You might see some O-line starting. You might see. That's it. Maybe some O-line. Maybe some of the defense, because it's a new system on the defense. Maybe you see a couple of them, but no one important. Snowman is not dressing up. I doubt friend of the podcast, Brennan Jones, dresses up. You might see Cam Smith. I don't expect to see Xavier Howard. So you might see a couple sprinkles. You know that meme? You might see a couple sprinkles, but no one on the offensive side of the ball outside of a couple pieces of the O-line. I'm going to the game, and I hope I don't even see Tua. Like, nah. Like, why do I need to see Tua for? You know what I'm saying? So it's the second year in the system. He knows the system. He's calling audibles in his sleep. There's no reason for him to be out there.
I think we mentioned it last preseason and probably during the offseason when the joint practices were being announced. I think that's why more and more teams are having joint practices, because you can kind of set up certain scenarios which you can't in a preseason game. You can essentially play, or I guess you can show more of your playbook in these joint practices without it kind of being filmed and shared across the entire, United States and the rest of the world and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I reckon you're more likely to see, the starting offense and starting defense in joint practice, and then like I said, a little tiny sprinkle of, you might see the first few plays in either week 1 or 2. You might see, a Tua, a Waddle, a Hill, but it's be like, hey, go out there, say hi to the crowd, throw a ball, and then you kind of go back on the sideline where we can, keep you healthy and stuff.
But why would we need to do even that if that's the case?
I think it's more just about, I guess it's some kind of maybe because from the UK and we have like getting players into match fitness. I don't know if that's a thing you have so much in the US. I guess. Yeah, I think of it just like, again, we've had joint practice. We've kind of set up, the what we would do if we was on 1st and 10 from here or 2nd and 20 from here, all that kind of stuff. But I do think there might be some element of, okay, you've done that. You haven't actually played a game since January for some, previously before that. And again, it would be a sprinkle. I think we generally are gone past the days of, first game, second game, and then by the third game, players play a half, and then, the fourth game is entirely essentially practice squad players. Obviously, there's no fourth game. There's just 3 games now. And the Dolphins will probably want to see the likes of Chris Brooks, Aubrey Miller, Alama Ulave. Someone did tell us how to pronounce his name, and I think I messed up already.
Who told us?
I think someone in the comments. So shout out to the social media team for posting the video of us talking about Ulave last week. I will double check quickly to see who. Let's have a look. Apologies for bad podcast if you're listening on audio. Right, yeah. Shout out to @Veeks23. He says his last name is pronounced Uluave. So he's got 3 O's hyphen LOO hyphen AH hyphen VEH. So I will pronounce that Uluave. But again,
so he responded Alama. I guess we could just say Alama, right? So he responded and said it's close enough. It's pretty solid, is what he said. You know what I'm saying? He said it's pretty solid. I guess, my last name is not Touche for those who are wondering. You know what I'm saying? So my last name is not an easy one. And when people come close enough, I'm like, that's really close enough. You know what I'm saying? There's no need to really break it down to a science. So I guess he gave us the green light. He actually responded, said, appreciate the support. So we appreciate him as well. So we could go with Alama. I would still go with Ulave too. I mean, there's only one Alama on the team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to answer what you were saying though, I think it's the opposite of that, Kadeem. I think I'm not even entertaining any starters now. I think it's hot in Florida and people are getting acclimated to the sun. I think the NFL has gifted everyone a September Christmas by not having to play the Dolphins in September at Miami until week 3. So there's week 1 and 2 where we have away games. That's not by happenstance. They did it on purpose. So we can't cook nobody when they come down here. So, excuse me. I think we're getting acclimated. I think we're getting fit, as you put it. And I think the second preseason game, you might see a couple more starters and you might play them a little bit more then. And then the third game, you might see them play maybe a quarter or 2, right? So, and if someone else needs a little bit more, like Cam Smith or Noah, but Noah's not a starter, but if if people need a little bit more reps, you might see them come out in the second half for the first drive of the second half, and then they have a bye week, and then it's go time. So I think it's a little opposite of what you were saying. I think, if you do see someone, it'll be in the second week and then the third week, not the first. But we're about to find out Friday. I know that much.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. And I think, listen, Alama, like I mentioned, Aubrey Miller, Chris Brooks, hopefully Erica Dukama's okay because he's another one who went down over the weekend. But there's a bunch of guys who I think with each passing season, and especially this season, the likelihood of a Kadeko who doesn't become slimmer, but like there's probably not many roster spots available to an undrafted guy and stuff like that. But that being said, who's going to be this year's Skylar Thompson and Katie Kohu, and the only way to find out is to see them in preseason. And I think that's probably the best part of preseason. Is like, oh, see this guy, I didn't, again, this time last year, who was speaking about, Katie Kohu? It's impressive. So for these guys, it's a genuine opportunity to have a life-changing moment which you never look back from. Like again, Kader Kohu is looking like a guaranteed NFL starter for the next few years. And that's just one, shout out to Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel for spotting that, and 2, shout out to Kader Kohu for grasping his opportunity with both hands and never looking back.
And Mike McDaniel will say shout out to Chris Greer because he can't take no credit for it. He actually said that. Mike McDaniel's like, yo, I can't take credit for that when I saw Chris. That's exactly what he said when it comes to Kader Kohu. You got anything else before we get into bonus time?
Yep. if you're commenting on our videos at the moment, you have entered the chance to win a Tua Tagovailoa playing card. It's in a case, so it's protected. Be giving away, I think I said on the Falcons review episode. So yeah, leave a comment. If you want to be even nicer, leave a comment saying giveaway. And again, share the video, subscribe, like, tell your friends, tell your family, hey, there's an opportunity to win a Dolphins, a Tua Tagovailoa Miami Dolphins playing card. So, give yourself more opportunities to win it by having your friends and family comment on the video. But that is it from me.
Man, Bert came through. We chopped it up for the weekend, bro. Shout out to Bert for putting the chair together for me. The Miami Dolphin chair, if y'all can see it.
Hey!
You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is, I'm not a gamer, but we got the gamer chair. Bert came through and slid like, yo, I got you. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Bert for that one.
I can't even see mine.
Yeah, what's it say?
Secret Lab, but you can see the Batman.
Bro, I thought you had a Batman chair. I'm like, yo, don't you have a Batman chair? And then I was like, wait, Doug has a Batman chair. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Dudley Do Wrong. And I'm like, well, I thought Kadeem had one, but maybe I was tripping. So I was going to bring up your Batman chair. But yeah, man, appreciate Bert putting together this Dolphin chair for me. Y'all kind of bright. Got to get there. Put some, yeah, but yeah. So we about to go into bonus time, man. Y'all know what time it is. Stay positive, test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time.
What you got for us, Kadeem?
I have Ndamukong Suh's Wikipedia page open.
I was just about to pull it up.
So if you want to be the new fact check, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, Suh, when he left Miami in 2017, he wasn't LA Ram, so he did join the Rams. I genuinely cannot remember that at all.
I think that's the team that made it to the Super Bowl and lost. I think that's the team that
lost to the Patriots 13-3.
Bro, hey, listen, man. Where's the Sports Jeopardy show, bro? I'm trying to get me some of that. Well, not even sports. I need a football Jeopardy show. But I might need a Dolphin Jeopardy show. You know what I'm saying? We might have to put that together, actually. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man. I know a little bit about the Miami Dolphins, bro. Just a little bit.
So he joined the Rams in 2018. 2019, he becomes a Tampa Bay Buck. They bring him back in 2020, which is where they beat the Chiefs, and he wins his ring. And then he joins the Eagles in 2021. He is with the Bucks again. And then, 2022, he joins the Eagles where he lost to the Chiefs. So, to be fair, 3 Super Bowl finals, 1 ring, can't complain too much. And, that 13-3 loss to the Patriots.
That was coaching. That was McVay being a fanboy of Belichick. And he's mic'd up, and you can hear him just all giddy, like, oh, I can't wait to see what they're gonna do. Like, I just know they're gonna come up with something good, and I just can't wait to watch. Like, bro, you're in the Super Bowl, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you're not watching with us. You know what I'm saying? You in the Super Bowl. We had one more fact check. Do you remember what it was?
Oh, Chosen Anderson or Robbie Chosen.
Yeah. Shout out to Robbie for getting us right with that one.
Let me double check because I'm not trying to.
No, I'm telling you, it was Chosen Anderson at first, and then I think he changed it again to Robbie Chosen.
It's interesting because if you type in Robbie Chosen on Google, it comes up saying Chosen Anderson, and his Wikipedia says Chosen Anderson. Now Wikipedia takes nothing. But
hey, we'll find out. We'll find out Friday.
No, so
matter of fact, Go to the Miami Dolphins depth chart. See what they got there.
Well, I was going to say, so there's an article February 20th this year where it says Cardinals Robbie Anderson appears to change his name yet again. Will legally go by Chosen from now on. And that is not what I want to hear right now. If I go to Miami Dolphins website and see what he is, let's go to team. And again, if you are watching or listening, apologies while I search Miami Dolphins website. Player Isaiah Wynn is the first name because I've got it going W. Right. A-Chain. So there's no Anderson. That's the first thing I've noticed. Robbie Chosen. The Dolphins have him as Robbie Chosen. But Wikipedia has him as Chosen Anderson.
Hey, Rob, don't feel bad. Like, he had to double check of you. He'd be doing the same thing for me. Even though you gave us the facts, Rob. You know what I'm saying? Like, he still had to double check. Like, it's okay, bro.
Listen,
bro,
I'm gonna say I'm a journalist. I have to make sure that, you know, like, just because someone says something, I have to fact check. That's why I fact check. That check is what it is.
Okay. So the highest win rate in the NFL since 2019. Jeffrey Simmons of the Titans, 40.3%. Quinnen Williams of the Paper Planes, 40.3%. And yours truly, Christian Wilkins of the Miami Dolphins with 40.8%. Highest win rate in the NFL since 2019, since he's been in the league. Shout out to LB for saying what is Christian Wilkins doing. I'm like, bro, he's on one of the worst teams in the history of the NFL. Like, give dog a break. But anyway, he know I had to say that. So, bro, the rest of these people make over $22 million a year now. They just got their contracts. Well, I think two of them make 22 plus. One makes 23, and another one makes like 24 million a year. So Christian Wilkins, y'all boys still want to pay Christian Wilkins quarterback money?
He essentially said, you know, he wants to get paid. And if you go what Chris Greer said, he wants to pay him. It's just whether they can find that middle ground. And I'm a Christian Wilkins fan. It's not my money that I'm paying him with. So I'm like, hey, pay the man. Listen, before we kind of continue talking Christian Wilkins, shout out to Zach Sealer. Shout out to Zach Sealer's wife for liking our Twitter story of Zach Sealer. We appreciate the like, we appreciate the love, the shout out and stuff like that. One of the Dolphins have no defensive tackles under contract at the end of the season. Raekwon Davis, Zach Sealer, Christian Wilkins, you know, they're all out of contract. And maybe the Dolphins find a way to keep Sealer and Raekwon Davis at a fraction of the price that it would cost to keep Christian Wilkins. I can somewhat understand that. Maybe I'm letting my Christian Wilkins love get in the way of, you know, footballing decisions, and I'm sure the Dolphins aren't doing that, but I'm still hoping that there's a way the Dolphins can find a way to keep Christian Wilkins be in Miami as a Dolphin at Hard Rock Stadium beyond this season. And like we said plenty of times, if the Dolphins win a ring this year and they decide to let him go, I can't be angry at that because he's won a ring with a team that drafted him. And it's like, cool, go get your bread. You've got a ring. So I think people will be okay with that. But I love him Wilkins too much to let him go.
Best case scenario, Dolphins win a ring, let him walk, get draft capital for losing them, and then pay Zach Sealer less than half of that. Like, that's a win right there. That's a huge win. You got something else for us? Because I got a couple of things I could entertain. That's not football related.
Just if it's messy talk, I can do messy talk.
Bro, does it get any better than this guy? Does it, bro?
Listen, he's obviously people have seen Messi do what he's done for Barcelona for years, but there's something about seeing him do it in the country that you're in where it's just like he really is about that life. Like, he's really the GOAT. It's like, I believe he's already fourth all-time top scorer for Inter Miami, and he played like 4 games. Now, that's great, but Inter Miami have only been around for like 3 years, so it's not that impressive. But 7 goals in 4 games and assists as well. Like, goated.
Kadeem, you ever play Madden or a video game and take the worst team there is in the league and say, I'm going to take the worst team and turn them into the best team? That's what Messi is doing with Miami, bro. Like, yo, this man is coming in, shutting it down. Like, we were down 2 goals with 10 minutes left, and this man found a way. Like, bro, that is insane. And I'm gonna pivot to another soccer topic, but Kadeem, I need you to explain this part to me. When you're shooting penalties and the game is on the line, and this is for your World Cup life, which has a shelf life, by the way, of probably 8 years for the most people. For maybe most people, it's probably 4. You know what I'm saying? How is it the game is on the line and you get selected to take one of the 5, you know what I'm going to call them, PKs, and you don't even put the ball on frame, Kadeem? How is that possible, dog? Please explain to me how that is a thing. Please, bro.
The equivalent is, it's a NFL field goal to win the Super Bowl, or even to make the playoffs, and you shank it wide left. It's like, how? You have one job. You're a kicker.
Hold on. But how far is that field goal, though?
Don't think it matters. Like, okay, no, that's a lie. Of course it matters. If it's 55 yards thing, but anything, anything within 40 yards, like, yo.
Yeah, bro, listen, I ain't gonna lie. I think it's like a 30-yard field goal. Like, you can make a 30-yard field goal with the game on the line to go to the Super Bowl. But hey, far be it from me. I'm just a podcaster. I'm gonna be real with you. I already know that. So I don't want nobody coming at my dome saying you couldn't do it. Matter of fact, I probably could, though. You know what I'm saying? I could put the ball in the back of the net in the World Cup and not put it. You know what? I don't have to put it in the net. I just want it on frame. Make the goalie do something, Kadeem. Hold on,
wait, no. You want it on what?
Frame.
No, this is on target. Like, you want it on target. Like,
bro, listen.
This is why. Because you guys say PKs and on the frame. And because of that, you don't deserve nice things.
Kadeem, dog. Listen, bro. I think three of our players from the Women's World Cup missed the whole goal. Like, the whole thing. Like, you're not even gonna make the goalie decide which way to go. You're just gonna miss the whole thing for her. Like, yo, let's just miss the whole net. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a guarantee of you not gonna make this shot. Like, bruh, you gotta make the person do something. You can't miss the whole entire goal. And it's not just for the U.S. women's. I see it all the time in the World Cup. It happens every penalty shootout. It happens. I just don't know how it happens.
Happened with Nigeria. Happen? Like, thing is,
that was another one. I called. There was this chick from Nigeria, bro. Like, oh, this one's going over the net, and it went over the net.
The second one,
this one's going over.
I was like, she looked nervous. I was like, yeah, she missed the target. The one thing I will always say with a penalty, hit the target at the bare minimum. Like you say, at the bare minimum, if the keeper saves it, you go, you know what, is what it is.
That's it.
But to not even and again, I guess it's like, if you're a quarterback and you're going to throw into the end zone, let it hit your receiver's hands. If he drops it, you go, you know what, that's not on me. But to just sail it at the back of the end zone with the game on the line, dude, what you doing? Like, do what you doing? Like, you have one job. Like, my hands are here, and it's up here. Nah, don't.
I got it, Kadeem. It's like taking a sack on the last play of the game, but you're not gonna win if you don't throw this ball. So you have to throw the ball. Don't take a sack on the last play of the game.
No, I'll give you another one. Throwing the ball away, like to me, that's even worse. Like, why would you throw the ball away? Like, if Like, at least you throw it downfield because you never know. But to throw it away into the stands, at that point, it's like, you know what? Go home.
I think there's a little. I think that's more intentional. I think you intentionally throw the ball away. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you intentionally take a sack.
But hold
You know
on.
what I'm saying?
But the thing is, it's the last play of the game. Why would you throw the ball away?
But
Like,
no
throw
one
it.
does that though, Kadeem. That's what I'm saying. No one intentionally throws the ball away on the last play of the game.
I've seen it on like fourth down.
haven't
It's
seen
like,
it. I haven't seen it.
on a fourth down, it's like, dude, what you doing? It's fourth down. Like it's getting overturned anyway. So shout out to Hammer. Just joined us.
What up, Hammer? Hey, so apparently, well, I ain't gonna lie, it is excruciating to watch PKs. Do you think it should be a difference? Like, Kadeem, do you think there should be like play until someone wins and no penalties at all, or like we got to end this game like we're going to penalties?
I think there's some. So we have extra time, which is basically overtime.
Right.
And I think sometimes it's like don't even have extra time because the game was so boring and no one's going like an extra 30 minutes, no one's going to score. So just go straight to penalties. You know, I don't need to be here for another half an hour knowing that nothing's going to happen. So I think penalties is a fair way. I know that for a lot of our US listeners or US soccer fans or US sports fans who don't watch soccer, they don't understand how a game can finish as a draw or a tie. They're like,
I hate it. I don't want to see football, and I don't want to see the NFL games ending ties. I hate it. Like, I think we should have a penalty. You already know. I think we have Touche's overtime. Like, we should have a kickoff. You know, that's a legit kickoff. Like, hey, first kick of the miss, it's a wrap. That's what I think we should do. We should have our own penalties over here. Yeah, I wanted to get your opinion on that, bro. Shout out to Tristan Wirfs. He said he's legit having anxiety and stress issues and legitimate mental health like things switching the other side of the O-line. And for someone who makes a lot of money and, you know, like plays football for a living, maybe we don't understand something like that. But shout out to Tristan Wirfs for just being transparent and like, yo, I got to go to a side of the line that I never played in my life and then protect the quarterback. And it's basically like a cornerback being on an island, like Revis Island, like, yo, it's just me out here by myself. And then that's what he's doing, but never being able to do it ever. And now he's being asked to do it at the highest level. And he came out and said, yo, this thing giving me so much anxiety and all the other good stuff. So I don't know why you would do that, why you would switch him when he's about to be a Hall of Famer on one side of the line. But, yo, I'm not the coach. Last but not least, I do have to say this since we talked about O-line and Hall of Fame, and we'll tie it all together now. And I didn't want to lead the show because Zach Thomas is a Miami Dolphin, and this is a Dolphin podcast. And I wanted to lead with Zach Thomas. But Joe Thomas, the offensive lineman for the Cleveland Browns, bro, has one of the most insane statistics you will ever hear in your life. Shout out, you know, I shout out Larry Fitzgerald for his stat. He has more tackles than he does drop passes. And that is insane in itself because Larry Fitzgerald, for those who don't know, is a wide receiver. Joe Thomas has a snap streak of 10,363 consecutive snaps. Didn't miss a snap, Kadeem, in 10 seasons, bro. That is the wildest thing I've ever heard in my life. And I mentioned it before on this podcast, but just that, you know, he had the speech yesterday and he went into Canton and, you know, that's in Ohio and he played in Ohio his whole career. That is one of the wildest things that I've ever heard in football. And I just had to bring it up again just to acknowledge it. It is one of the craziest things ever. Gave up like 3 sacks a year. Like, that's it.
I think as well, and it's not for me to speak about, you know, professional integrity or anything like that, but he plays for some of the worst teams in NFL history and never, like, genuinely, he would have been well within his rights after like game 13 most seasons going, I'm done. Like, call me in July when we're back in training camp, but I am not risking my body to get hurt for another lost season. The fact that he played, and you know, we laugh and joke about players, you know, at the end of the season when the season's done, it's like, do you know what? I'm phoning it in. don't care, all that kind of stuff. Joe Thomas is the professional, gave every single thing for the Cleveland Browns. And I think, if there's anyone who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, it's him. But genuinely, if there was anyone who deserved to win a Super Bowl ring with the team that drafted him, it was Joe Thomas. Because, like, to do all of that, and the Browns probably made the playoffs maybe like once or twice in his entire, and it was like rebuild after rebuild
I
after
don't even know if
failed
they made the
quarterback.
playoffs, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. I don't know if he even made the playoffs.
Oh, don't say they made the playoffs after he retired.
Yeah, I think Baker Mayfield was after he retired. If I had to guess, you know, if we're going off of Charlie Touche's knowledge, if I had to bet my house, you know what I'm saying, which I don't, but if I had to guess, I don't think he made. He didn't. I'll say this: he was not on that Baker Mayfield team. He wasn't on that team because obviously it takes 5 years to make the Hall of Fame. So Baker's still playing. I don't think he was on that Baker Mayfield team. So I don't think that team he was on that team that made the playoffs. If he made the playoffs somewhere in his career, it wasn't with that team, but that's if he made the playoffs at all. So if you could pull that up, we'll like to not leave the fans on a cliffhanger and get them an answer to that. But I'll even come back and say this. He had 30 sacks in his career. That's 3 sacks a season. And then he had the joke of all jokes and said, yo, some of them was the quarterback's fault. You feel me? Like, yo, bro, and I'll second it. Like, yo, he was on some of the trashiest teams with the trashiest quarterbacks and only gave up 30 sacks in 10 seasons. Shout out to Joe Thomas. We're gonna try to get this one more fact check before we end, and don't want to leave you guys on the cliffhanger, but I don't know that Joe Thomas made the playoffs at all. And if he did, it was not with that Baker Mayfield team.
They made it in 2002. He got drafted in 2007. He retired in 2017, and they made it in 2020. And even like when he retired, so he tore his tore his tricep. And then ended the 2017 season. Streak is snapped. And retires in 2018. And it's like, to not even make a playoff.
Never made the playoffs.
Never made the playoffs, but was an ultimate professional.
By the way, we buried the lead. Made the Pro Bowl every single season.
Yeah. Like, just an absolute one of the best offensive linemen of all time. Probably will go down like a top 10 NFL lineman. I don't think that's
that's crazy, bro.
I was just looking as well. I know this is a Miami Dolphins podcast, but
nah, credit when it's due, bro. Like, when legends go out, you got to salute the legends, bro, regardless of what team you root for.
He, drafted in 2007, retired in 2017 to 10 season. Across those 10 seasons, 48 wins and 128 losses. And the guy suited up every single week and was like, I'm going to do it. Oh.
I'm going to give him my best. I'm going to give him my all. Listen, even though these boys is trash.
I don't care if the Browns ever win a Super Bowl and he's still alive, give him a ring. You have to give him a ring,
bro. You gotta mail that ring, bro. You gotta mail that boy the ring, man.
He had let him hoist the Lombardi. Oh, dude, you know what? I feel sick. Hammer said, "Damn, that's sick." I feel sick. That's just and again, to not even put in a trade, know what? I want to go play for someone else. We're like, no, I'm a Cleveland Brown. You drafted me. We win together. We win together. We lose together. But we train another day because there was nothing else. Can you imagine knowing that? Hey, Scotty Joe, Hammy from Miami, what's up? Just talking Joe Thomas and wow. Just absolute wow.
Thomas and Thomas, bookends on the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, 100%. Guys, we'll see you on the next one. Be a Joe Thomas. Always give 100%.